One currency. We throw around this idea a lot in economics. Wouldn't it be great if we could travel the world without exchanging money? If we could buy goods and services anywhere with the same cash, it sure would make life simpler. But one currency isn't just an idea. It's a hot topic among economists, politicians, and anyone who's ever gotten lost trying to convert currencies in their head. But here's the thing, having one currency around the world isn't as easy as it sounds. We can talk about the appeal of having one global currency and how it would make things easier, cheaper, and more transparent. But let's take a closer look at what's really going on here. A global currency would certainly make things simpler for businesses. No more currency conversions, no more exchange fees. But here's the catch. Would these businesses actually benefit? Or would the cost of doing business just shift? A company that imports products would love a weaker dollar. It makes those products cheaper. But a company that exports products would prefer a stronger dollar. It helps them compete overseas. Under one global currency, those companies would have no way to hedge against fluctuations. That means a one-size-fits-all risk. And let's not forget about governments. They manipulate currency values all the time to help their exports or to keep inflation in check. China keeps its currency, the yuan, relatively weak to boost exports. The United States raises or lowers interest rates to control the value of the dollar with a global currency. Countries would give up that power, sure. They wouldn't have to worry about sudden currency crashes, but they'd also have no control over their own economic destiny. Now this brings us to inflation. A global currency could make it easier to compare prices across countries. But would it really help us beat inflation? After all, inflation isn't just about the price of stuff. It's also about how much your money changes in. Value. A global currency could make it harder for countries to adjust to different rates of inflation. It could be disastrous for countries that have very different inflation rates. Imagine if the United States had used the euro in 2008. It was the worst inflation-adjusted year for the U.S. since the Great Depression. But while the U.S. was struggling, Europe's inflation was half as bad. If the U.S. had been part of the Eurozone, its inflation rate would have been much higher. The truth is, no two economies are the same. Some are booming, others are stagnant. Some are recovering from wars, others are dealing with natural disasters. How could one currency possibly suit them all? Countries need to be able to set their own policies without worrying about upsetting some global balance. A global currency would bring that balance crashing down. We can see this in the real world today with the euro. Countries that adopted the euro gave up their own currencies for the sake of simplicity and unity. But after the 2008 financial crisis, many countries realized they were in trouble. Greece needed to devalue its currency to boost exports and end up investing billions of dollars to save Greece. Other countries like Bulgaria, Czechia, Denmark, and Hungary refused to join because they feared losing control of their economies. Countries knew that a one-size-fits-all currency wouldn't work. They wanted to be able to adjust to their own needs. So here's the bottom line. A global currency might sound appealing, but it's riddled with problems. Countries are too different from each other to share one currency. Their needs are too different. Their priorities are too different. And even if they could agree on one currency, who would control it? A global central bank, an elected international body, a powerful group of nations? Who would make the decisions and how would they balance the needs of all the countries? The fact is, no country wants to give up control of its currency. It's too much power to hand over to someone else. But let's play out this scenario just a little further. Even if countries could agree to one currency, who wins and who loses? The answer, unfortunately, is obvious. Wealthier countries would dominate. They'd set the rules in their favor and poorer countries would suffer. They'd lose a valuable tool for managing their economies. This is why a global currency isn't just an economic issue, it's a political one. Countries aren't willing to give up control of their currencies, and there is no way to ensure fair representation in a global currency system. It's just too complicated and too risky. So maybe a global currency will never happen. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't keep talking about it. We live in an interconnected world, and our economies depend on each other in ways we never imagined before. We need to keep exploring ways to make global trade easier and more efficient. Maybe one day we'll find a better solution than a global currency. Until then, we'll just have to keep carrying around all this cash.